I'm Blanchard down in Sarasota, Florida. A few years ago, I decided to go off and hike the Appalachian Trail. And I thought as part of that process I would learn some of the basic skills that you really need to have as a hiker. How to tie good knots, how to build a fire without matches or maybe a lighter. Primitive peoples way back when they figured this out, the rubbing the sticks routine, must have been very liberating. Think about it. They were able to actually make fire anywhere they needed, not just carry around hot embers or wait for a lightning strike. We don't really rub sticks when we build fire with this primitive method. What we really do is we use a couple of different materials. Now, the first thing we need is a board or fireboard, something to drill on. And here I have a piece of cedar. You can see I've done quite a few fires with this one. And what I do is I pre-drill it a little bit, give it a place to have my fire drill work on. And then I notch it out with a coping saw. And the reason I do that is so that as I'm rubbing the drill in it, it's creating this material called punk, which is your hot embers. And it gives, the notch gives it a place to fall out onto the kindling. The next thing we need is a fire drill. This is a piece of poplar in this case. And what I've done is just cut it out of a piece of board, shaved it down with a plane and a file. One end is rather pointed. The other end is the actual tip that will do the rubbing. I also have an old tree limb here with some cotton string on it. This string I think is for sash weights in a window or something. Fairly small, but it's cotton. You'll find that all the nylon ropes, the new modern ropes, just aren't up to the job like cotton is. And we merely, when we go to use this, actually I usually have this a little tighter, but it's been used a lot. We just do one wrap around our fire drill, and then the drill can be spun, as you'll see. When we put the drill on the fireboard, we need a way to hold it on top. And I've actually greased it up to create as little friction as possible. And I made up this board here because we don't have any rocks or maybe a good bone that's slippery or something to use as our bearing surface at the top. But primitive peoples typically used a bone or some material that they could find that didn't have a lot of friction. And they would usually put some grease on it, bear grease, whatever they had, animal fat. In my case, I think it's axle grease. So I made my simulated stone here so I can hold the top of the drill and spin it without a lot of friction. Because you want all the friction at the other end where the heat's going to be developed. Now for kindling, I use some stuff I find locally here on the palm trees. Works kind of well. And I put the kindling on a piece of cardboard, or you could use a piece of bark, whatever you might have, to hold it so you can lift it as you're working with it. So let's take a look at actually building a fire. So here we are in southern Florida. One of the nice things we have here is something local Native Americans refer to as gorilla hair. Red, sort of like what my hair used to be. Pretty flammable. Nice kindling. I also have a mixture of leaves and old dried grass and so on here. That'll be my kindling to get the fire going. We take the fireboard and we place it right on the kindling that's on the cardboard and place it so that it sort of holds it in place. Put our foot on it. By putting my foot on it, I keep it stable. The string is getting ready here. Place it in our pre-drilled hole. Brace it against your knee and just start sawing it. I didn't prime this hole by drilling in it a bit first. How well it'll work. And it's smoking away. Okay. So now we just keep sawing. And we create something called punk. It's like a sawdust that comes out that's very hot, and that's where we'll get our glowing embers. And you keep this up for a while. It's quite strenuous. Generate as big a pile as you can. Let's assume that's enough. And we blow on it lightly. Not too hard. You don't want to blow it out or cool it down dramatically. Here's why it's on the cardboard, so we can pick it up. Should be just about ready to explode into flame.
Of flame near the big tail fins turned the ship into a flaming inferno.
And we have our fire. Okay. And the reason you put it on cardboard is so you can handle it. And we have a nice fire we could get going. Now, the beauty of this is if you were in a situation where you were separated from your equipment and all you had was maybe your shoelaces, you'd be able to start a fire. Now, I gently blew on it, not too hard because you don't want to cool it too much either, and just little by little build it up. I don't have optimum materials here. This is not the best wood you could be using. This is a piece of cedar. The fire drill is made from poplar. I just bought a couple of boards at the local big box store. So that, my friends, is a quick summary of how to make fire rubbing sticks. If you enjoyed this little demonstration of how to build a fire rubbing sticks, I might suggest you follow me in my adventures I had on the Appalachian Trail. Wrote a book about it. It's called 300 Zeros, and you can find it on 300zeros.com or on Amazon. It's about all the wacky and zany people that I met out there, the animals, the flora and fauna of the Appalachian Trail. It's a fun read, lots of humor, and I think you'll come away from it a little better educated about what it's like to live out in the woods for 6 months. Have a look at 300zeros.com. Thanks for tuning in today, and have a great day.